This story is about a group of human soldiers who were abandoned on a dangerous alien moon called Con 6. For 20 years they survived against impossible odds, becoming stronger and more dangerous by adapting to the deadly world around them. When a galactic coalition team discovers them, they find warriors who are no longer just human, they have become something new, wild and fierce. Now, Earth's government wants to erase all evidence of these survivors, sending a massive fleet to kill them. The story is intense, full of tension, action, and the deep emotions of survival, betrayal, and revenge. The stakes are life and death for the survivors, the truth, and the future of humanity in the galaxy. The moon Con 6 hung in space like a dark, twisted jewel. From orbit it looked deadly. Red fungus bloomed across its lands like spilled blood. Huge forests never stopped moving. Lightning lit the sky with strange colors. It was a place made for nightmares. A galactic coalition ship, the Harmonious Intent, orbited above. Inside, Commander Urich's skin glowed with nervous blue light. Her people, the Carry, believed in rules. Rule 1, always say you come in peace. Rule 2, bring gifts. But nobody had a rule for what to do when a planet screams back at you. Torvik, a scarred mercenary captain, growled as he heard the strange sounds from below. Whatever is down there, it punched sound through 300 kilometers of empty space. Lieutenant May Donovan, the only human on the ship, played the sounds again. They were more than roars. They had patterns like calls or warnings. But beneath the noise, May thought she heard one word clearly said, reload. On the surface 20 years ago, Captain Ryan Royce stood in a drop ship, telling his small team about the mission. The moon was a death trap. The air made your lungs burn. The gravity could crush you or throw you into the sky. 17,000 species saw humans as weak. But they were soldiers. Earth's best. They were sent to see if Con 6 could be used as a weapon. But soon the mission went wrong. The drop ship exploded. Everything changed. Now the coalition team found the wreckage. A twisted metal piece showed a crude carving, War Howl lives. The writing was human. Suddenly the forest around them pulsed with light. The ground vibrated under their feet. Then came the sound again. Not through space this time but through thick, strange air. From the shadows 5 figures fell like stars. Huge and fast, covered in armor made from broken ship parts and bones. The leader was 7 feet tall, muscles hard as steel, his face hidden by a terrifying mask. When he roared, the sound hit like a hammer. Then he spoke. His voice was rough and deep. May heard the word clearly, long neighborhood tourists. The others called him Ryan. Torvik raised his weapon, but the masked man crushed it like paper and knocked Torvik to the ground. Ryan's eyes flickered with strange glowing light. Another figure, leaner but just as deadly, reloaded a massive gun made from ship parts and jaws. They had friends here. May watched, heart pounding. These were not just humans. They were something else, something fierce made by this moon. The fight was quick and brutal. Half the coalition force was down, hurt but alive. Ryan laughed. Lady, we live here. You're the hostile. May, pressed against a glowing tree smelling of copper and danger, found her voice. You're human. Every weapon aimed at her. Ryan stepped close. Tell me, tourist, what makes a human? The name on your grave? The blood in your veins? We don't save it anymore. The moon's forest seemed alive. It pulsed with light in time to their breathing. The War Howl pack moved like shadows, striking fast and vanishing. The survivors gathered in the cargo bay. Deke Mars, one of the feral humans, crouched over a strange weapon. His face was scarred, his eyes hard but alive. How did you get on the ship? May asked. Deke smiled. Maintenance ports. Big enough for a motivated human. He played a video from 20 years ago. Captain Ryan spoke to the camera, worn but still strong. They were trapped, fighting the fungal infection and deadly creatures. We are choosing whatever it takes, Ryan said. However far we go, we won't die here. May's world tilted. Earth had abandoned these soldiers. Left them to die. But they had survived, adapted, become stronger. Now they own Con 6. May looked at the dog tag she found. Mars D. The pieces clicked. Project War Howl was real. And Earth wanted to erase all evidence. An emergency meeting aboard the Harmonious Intent turned into chaos. The coalition's rules said they could not act without permission. But the threat was real. Suddenly the vents exploded. Figures dropped in, moving faster than anyone expected. The War Howl pack was here again. May ran, followed by others, toward the cargo bay where Deke prepared weapons. The moon below glowed. The fight had just begun. The cargo bay was a storm of nerves and steel. May stood beside Deke, watching him load strange guns made from scraps of alien metal and old human weapons. The others moved with practiced speed, even though their bodies showed the scars and weight of 20 years in the wild. Why keep fighting? May asked quietly. Why not try to get help? Your own people didn't come. Deke looked at her with eyes sharp as knives. Help never came. So we made our own. This moon was trying to kill us every day. We didn't just survive. We changed. Ryan stepped forward, his metal jaw shining under the emergency lights. We adapted to this death world. We learned its secrets. We learned to fight its monsters and use them. May touched the dog tag in her pocket. She felt the weight of stories buried beneath the years of silence. Earth had written them off, declared them lost. But here they stood, alive and dangerous. Torvik limped in, clutching his broken ribs, face grim. You expect me to believe humans, abandoned, can turn this place into a fortress? Ryan smiled, but it was no friendly smile. You don't have to believe it. You just have to watch. May's data pad beeped. A new message encrypted. She read aloud, voice trembling, order from Earth Defense Command. Quarantine Con 6. Eliminate all witnesses. Project Warhowl never existed. A cold silence fell. Yurik, the Carey diplomat, flickered through shades of fear and disbelief. A full planetary sterilization fleet is arriving. In 48 hours. Deke and Ryan exchanged looks. Deke said quietly, "That's new." Ryan's eyes burned brighter. "That's perfect." The room froze. They all knew what that meant. The fleet will burn the moon to ashes. They want to wipe us out. All of us. May's heart hammered. We have to warn them. Warn the coalition. We can't let this happen. Torvik growled, gripping his pulse rifle tighter. Say we believe you. What can 7 feral humans do against warships? Ryan laughed, a sound full of fierce pride. 7? Oh, you poor fool. You think we're all that's left? His howl echoed through the ship, a primal sound that should not have traveled through the vacuum of space. But it did. It reached down to the moon. And Con 6 answered with a howl of its own. The screen lit up with dozens of contacts, biological signatures riding terrifying creatures through space. They looked like nightmares shaped from manta rays and shadows. Ryan explained, every human on Con 6 learned the same lesson we did. Adapt or die. Feeding on psychic megapona for 20 years changed us. May swallowed hard. You mean, you can punch sound through vacuum? Ryan nodded. And fly through space riding void swimmers. They eat cosmic radiation and give us tactical advantages. Plus, they don't like the taste of humans, so they protect us. The standoff had become impossible. We have 2 choices, Ryan said, eyes cold and sharp. Wait for Earth's fleet to vaporize us, or remind them why they left us to die. Torvik stood, warrior pride rising. What do you need? Guns, Deke answered without hesitation. The kind that make big holes in bigger things. Medical supplies, another voice added, dropping down from a vent with a bloody wound. Broadcast equipment, Ryan finished. We need to tell the galaxy what happened. May looked at the coalition officers and mercenaries. The fight was bigger than politics or rules now. It was survival. Hours later, the coalition fleet approached Con 6. 37 ships, from battle cards to science vessels, answered the call. The moon pulsed with strange, painful light. Weather formed patterns that looked like battle plans. The forest sang a song that made space itself shiver. Oral, May spoke into the comms using Ryan's code name. We're here. What do you need? Ryan's voice answered, calm but fierce. Witnesses. When this is over, we want the galaxy to remember. The fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel and formation. 80 ships, weapons ready, fighters swarming. The Earth commander's voice boomed across all channels, demanding surrender. But Con 6 moved. Not just rotated or shifted, but slipped through space like gravity was a joke. The fleet's targeting systems failed. Thousands of void swimmers rose from the atmosphere. Each carried strange, pulsing spores and strange fungal weapons. The moon fought back. Ryan stood on the lead swimmer, arms spread wide, breathing vacuum like it was air. The moon's power flowed through him. Fire everything, came the command from the fleet. Energy beams, missiles, weapons enough to destroy worlds poured down. The fungal masses exploded in waves. Spores devoured energy like candy. Biological pods cracked open, releasing creatures that bent light, twisted space, and turned missiles into art. Ryan and the Warhowl pack tore through the fleet. Humans fought from the shadows, riding their nightmare beasts. The battle was chaos made real. Ryan boarded the flagship, standing over the stunned admiral. You sent us here to die. But we didn't. He showed the Admiral the burning fleet and the power of human will fused with alien evolution. We were abandoned. We survived. We became something new. Ryan's voice carried across the galaxy. Project War Howl. Final report. Mission accomplished. The flagship cracked like an egg beneath the fungus. Ryan rode the blast out on his void swimmer, whooping like a child on a roller coaster. 1 year had passed since the battle that shattered the Earth fleet. The galaxy whispered of the war howl, the humans who survived impossible odds on Con 6 and fought back with alien power. Yet on Earth, the truth was still hidden beneath layers of lies. Lieutenant May Donovan stood at a memorial ceremony in a crowded plaza. The statue before her was a polished, sanitized image of the war howl survivors. Heroes according to official stories, but nothing like the real feral fighters she had met. Suddenly the sky darkened. A massive shadow appeared overhead, a void swimmer, enormous and alien, gliding through the atmosphere like a ghost. Security forces raised weapons, but the creature moved too fast and too strange. It landed softly near May. Deke Mar stepped down from the creature's back, dressed in worn, mismatched formal clothes. His scarred face broke into a grin. Heard there'd be drinks. May smiled despite herself. You weren't invited. Story of my life, he said, pulling a flask from his coat and taking a long, harsh drink. Around them, the crowd watched in stunned silence. This was the living proof of the war howl story, the survivors who Earth had tried to erase. How's the rescue operation? Deke asked, wiping his mouth. 17 colonies recovered. Another 32 identified. The coalition set up a whole department. Urich loves the paperwork. Deke chuckled. Speaking of moons, Ryan sends his regards. Says if they don't fix his jaw on that statue, he's coming to do it personally. May laughed softly. Is that a threat? More of a promise. You know how he is about accuracy. The two stood in quiet for a moment, watching the people around them. The official story told one version, but the truth was harsher. Humans abandoned, left to die on a death world. And instead of breaking, they had become something harder. What's next for War Howl? May asked. Dake's grin sharpened. Same as always. Con 6 is ours. Now we're thinking bigger. He told her of plans to find other death worlds, places the galaxy had given up on. Impossible just means challenge accepted. They wanted to build a new pack, stronger and bigger than before. A family for all the abandoned humans left behind by corrupt governments. The coalition might not like it, but they would have to deal with it. Before leaving, Deke called May back. Oh, and next time you're in the neighborhood, stop by. Parker's working on a new fungal brew. Might give you psychic powers. Or kill you. Sometimes both. With that, he mounted his void swimmer. The creature folded space and vanished, leaving behind the smell of ozone and distant howling. May looked once more at the memorial statue. The heroes it showed were not like the ones she knew. The real war howl survivors had been pushed past breaking. They had broken back. Somewhere in the black between the stars, a human was teaching a void swimmer to sing. Somewhere else, Parker was probably breaking more laws of nature. On Con 6, in a base built from shipwrecks and alien bones, Captain Ryan Royce stood watch. Scarred but unbroken. Perfectly human. The galaxy had learned a hard lesson. You could abandon humans. Leave them for dead on worlds that ate light and breathed nightmares. But you could never break them. Humans did not just survive. They thrived. And somewhere in the void, carried on impossible frequencies, the howl continued. A war cry. A promise. A countdown. The pack was growing. And War Howl was just the beginning. The Galactic Coalition's emergency session had erupted into chaos. Voices clashed like thunder, with representatives shouting over treaties, laws, and protocols. Earth's government had declared the War Howl survivors terrorists. They wanted Con 6 sterilized, scrubbed clean from the stars. But Torvik, the scarred mercenary, stood up, his voice low and fierce. They are not terrorists. They are warriors. They fight to survive. The Arvok Freehold will stand with War Howl. Others followed. Some officially opposed the survivors, but many unofficially sent aid. Medical frigates, shielded and armed, slipped toward Con 6 under the guise of humanitarian missions. May watched from the observation deck as ships gathered, 37 strong, a motley fleet of mercenaries, scientists, and diplomats united by a common cause. Below, Con 6 pulsed with dangerous bioluminescence. The weather swirled, forming strange symbols and data that only a few understood. The fungal forest sang a dark song that resonated in space itself. Oral, this is Coalition Support Fleet. We're here. What do you need? May's voice carried through the comms. Ryan's voice came back, distorted but steady. Witnesses. When this ends, the galaxy must remember. The countdown ticked. Earth's fleet, 80 ships, dropped from faster-than-light travel in deadly formation. The planet crackers charged, fighters blotted out stars. General Morrison's voice blasted through every frequency. Terrorist cell war howl, surrender or be destroyed. Then Con 6 moved. Not a slow orbit shift but a sudden lurch. The entire moon slipped sideways through space like gravity was a suggestion. The fleet's targeting systems scrambled, crashing as ships collided in confusion. Then thousands of void swimmers rose from the planet's atmosphere, monsters made of shadow and space, each carrying strange fungal artillery. Riders stood tall atop these beasts, humans changed by 20 years of fighting a death world. Ryan led them, arms wide, breathing the vacuum as if it were air. He howled, a sound that shook the stars. "Fire everything," came the command. Energy beams tore toward the moon. Missiles cracked through the void. Weapons that could split continents poured down. But the fungus exploded in waves, releasing spores that ate energy like sweets. Pods burst open, unleashing creatures that bent light, twisted space, turned missiles into art. War howl rode through the chaos, humans fighting like legends. Ryan boarded the enemy flagship by having his void swimmer bite through the hull. He stood over the stunned admiral, face carved from battle and determination. "You sent us here to die," Ryan said, voice low and fierce. "But we didn't." He showed the admiral the burning fleet and the fusion of human will with alien power. "We survived. We changed. We became something new." His voice echoed across the galaxy, Project War Howl. Final report, mission accomplished. The flagship cracked, crushed by the living moon's grasp. Ryan rode the explosion on his void swimmer, laughing with wild freedom. The galaxy had never seen a fight like this. The battle for Con 6 was more than war. It was a reckoning. The moon, alive and angry, was no longer a silent prisoner in space. It had become a weapon, a fortress, and a home. In the heart of the coalition fleet, chaos reigned. Ships burned, systems failed, and pilots fought to survive. But above it all, Ryan Royce stood tall on his void swimmer's back, eyes glowing with the fierce light of a species reborn. "Enough," Ryan's voice rang out, calm but filled with iron. "We're done hiding. We're done running. This is our home." Earth's command scrambled to respond, but their words fell on deaf ears. The survivors broadcasted every moment of the battle, every secret, every betrayal, across the galaxy. The truth was no longer a secret. May Donovan watched the broadcast from a coalition monitoring station. She felt a fire rise inside her, a mix of anger, pride, and hope. This was just the beginning. The War Howl Pack was not alone. Across distant worlds, colonies abandoned and forgotten stirred. Humans who had been left to die began to rise, inspired by the howl that echoed through space. "Time to build the pack," Dake's voice crackled over the comm. "Time to find the others. Time to remind the galaxy what it means to be human." The moon Con 6 spun silently in the void. It was no longer a death trap. It was a throne. And on that throne Ryan and his pack ruled, not with mercy, but with the fierce love of those who had been pushed beyond breaking and refused to fall. May stood beside him in the cargo bay, watching the night sky filled with stars and the silent shapes of void swimmers. "You think Earth will ever forgive us?" she asked. Ryan smiled, scarred but unbroken. "They don't have to. We're not here to be forgiven. We're here to survive. To thrive. To howl." The howl rose, carried on waves that broke every rule of space and sound. It was a call to all who were lost, all who were forgotten. A promise that the abandoned would no longer be silent. The pack was growing. And War Howl was only the beginning.